I was to go out that night. It was a Thursday night, and we just had sat down to eat the hamburger when the door rapped, and it was a wee girl on a bike, and she shouted that my brother had been shot. And I just run round to Sam's house, and the police says he's not here, that he was sent to the Mater. So I run like the hammers down to the Mater, and then I don't even think it was a nurse that came in and shook her shoulders, and I have to say that was it. Sam was dead, which I could understand. I couldn't breathe. I often sit and wonder if I was there, would he have died? So I think if he had heard me saying, "Get up, Sam, I need you."
The INLA said Mr. Rock was a member of the UDA, but the claim was denied by that organisation, the RUC, and the victim's family. Detectives believe Mr. Rock was killed in mistake for a prominent loyalist whose car he had just purchased.
You would probably agree with me, Alfie, that it was a violent action that took place on the Shankill Road that threw the two of us into getting involved in politics.
Up until before the Shankill bombing, I hadn't really much interest in politics, and then when I seen that, I thought that in my own heart I'd have to do something to try and help people apart from us. So that really catapulted me into politics.
You would be like me. You would say that there'd been a failure by the DUP and the OUP to articulate the working class.
Well, I feel for the last 25 years we've been listening to the Ulster Unionists and listening to the Democratic Unionists, and nothing has happened.
That's right.
And in the last 4 months since the ceasefire has been called, people are not being killed, people are not being shot, and we have been invited to storm out for our representation, which we didn't get in the last 25 years.
People would say that the PUP and the UDP have no mandate to be invited to storm out, but the mandate of the PUP and the UDP is that the loyalist guns being silent, and the fact that no more nationalists are being killed or under the threat of being killed, that is a mandate in itself.
Well, what are you on that motorbike? You got it all right?
Who's that Gillespie?
He said he had never got rid of him if he hadn't been from Northern Ireland. If he had a bit of English, he had never.
His problems is...
it's European, that's right.
Not only at Derby, I was glad he left you there.
I don't think he'd have got a chance here with the Chelskis and
well, there was
those other ones.
Chelskis and Giggs all in front of him.
That's right.
And like, personally, I think he's a fucking better player than Sharp or Giggs.
Don't worry about them other men, they're the most important. I'm only PUP TV. The place I was at, or where we went, was Stormont. We were there to discuss prison issues that have come to the fore after the two ceasefires. It's significant to myself, and as much that I'm a working class person from the Shankill, who's never had the access to the seat of authority or the seat of power in this country, or have known anybody that has had that access. But today, as usual, last but by no means least, was working class loyalism. And believe you me, when we got there, the PUP put their case very well.
Well, the meeting went quite well as far as we were concerned. It was a frank discussion.
The Progressive Unionist Party don't have any arms to swap for prisoners, and what we have stated clearly was that won't happen. But of course, the British government from the outset have been talking about decommissioning of arms and also about prisoners and say that everything's connected. But I mean, we were trying to clarify the position that they can't be connected.
The words that are causing the problems are demilitarisation and decommissioning. Now, what is happening there, that the government are insisting on decommissioning, while Sinn Féin are insisting on demilitarisation. Now, what both those words mean to both sides in the equation are, the Sinn Féin demilitarisation means not only the removal of Republicans' weapons and loyalist weapons, but also RUC weapons, British Army weapons, and something that I think is quite stupid, because I don't see how it would affect the peace process. It hasn't affected the conflict in 25 years, but they're also calling for any legally held weapons by citizens of Northern Ireland to be handed in or whatever, I don't know, but I think it's totally ridiculous, and it's laughable. If it wasn't so serious, it would be laughable.
I look after my mother. Mummy looks after me, and I look after Mummy. I mean, that's the way that is. We do have arguments sometimes, and we stop speaking. I have to laugh at that one because I hate people not talking to me, and Mother hates people not talking to her either. So both of us are stubborn, but it's usually me. It says, "Mother, would you like a cup of tea?" Just to get her talking again, that's all. And then we've become friends.
I was arrested in 1977 for the murder of 3 people, convicted in 1978, murder of 2 Catholics and an informer, Protestant informer. I'm not a hero far from it. I wouldn't like to be regarded as one, but I was just doing what I thought needed to be done at the time.
Oh, Marsh, don't tell him go any higher. Don't let him go any higher.
Things turned really serious. I mean, if there was open fighting on the streets, it was like a civil war scenario, that type of thing, I'd be involved again. But as it stands now, I certainly wouldn't be. You could say I've retired now. There's young fellas there doing what I was doing, 77, early 70s. They have took over. It's a different generation now. But I still believe in it wholeheartedly, but I wouldn't be actively involved.
Right, I'm standing here outside Derry Barracks. What you just see now was the last foot patrol actually leaving Derry Barracks. It probably will be now the last foot patrol you'll ever see in Northern Ireland with the police. You see them walking down here, straight on over to the Nationalist New Lodge Road area. I can see now with the soldiers, the last foot patrol leaving here, I can see it being very strange for me because I've been here brought up for 20 years, realising that, I mean, all you've ever seen was police and soldiers walking together, walking the streets, Land Rovers, and that was an everyday thing. If you go somewhere else and somebody sees a police Land Rover, they're amazed at know what to say. But, I mean, here in Belfast, it's part of their everyday life, so it's going to be strange not seeing them patrolling here anymore.
The RUC Chief Constable says that in consultation with the Army DOC, troops like these patrolling with police officers on the Shankill Road this afternoon will no longer act in support of the force in the Greater Belfast area from Sunday.
The IRA and the UVF and UDA should hand in their guns and then let the army go out.
What kind of a world do we live in where the terrorists keep their organisation intact? They hold on to their arms and their ammunitions and explosives, and Her Majesty's government instructs the army to demilitarise, everything is back to front.
There's been arms in this country since the state was formed. I mean, during the original Ulster crisis, the original Ulster volunteers brought in thousands of rifles and millions of rounds of ammunition. Now those weapons, most of them were kept in this country, and they were maybe kept in farmhouses and orange halls, in churches. I think actually in one case somebody actually said that she knew her father was a minister and that he had guns from the Ulster crisis in his own manse for years upon years upon years. So I don't think the arms thing is an issue. If an organisation says that they're no longer going to carry out acts of violence, then we'll have to take them at face value.
Sinn Féin has made it quite clear to the representatives of the British government that we are prepared to discuss any issue which is of concern to them. What we now expect the British government to do is to discuss issues which are of concern to us. The issue of demilitarisation is an important issue. I have already been involved in 5 meetings with representatives of the British government at Stormont on the issue of demilitarisation and other matters, and I expect that Michael Ancram, Minister of State, will come to the table and discuss any issue which is relevant to the peace process.
They're easy. Banners over by the markets, whitewashing slogans on the shipyard wall, witch doctors praying for a mighty showdown. No way our holy flag is gonna fall. Up here we sacrifice our children to feed them worn-out dreams of yesterday, and teach them dying can lead them into glory.
Only you can make this world seem right. Only you can make the darkness bright.
Network Q give their cars 114 separate checks, so if you want to use car, there's only one place to go.
Someone cares enough to know you sometimes need your prints quickly. And that someone cares enough to guarantee perfect memories. Or they'll reprint them for free. Boots. Someone cares.
Have you seen my razor?
I think it's on the cabinet.
Okay. Whose is that?
Yours, you know what? It's nothing to do with me.
What do you think you're playing at?
Well, it's not mine. Don't look at me.
I thought we told you to be careful.
John, I think we're the ones who should have been careful.
There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance.
If your family suddenly grows, so too will your responsibilities. That's why Allied Dunbar financial plans adapt, so you can face the unexpected.
Okay, it's a very cold Saturday morning here, and I'm probably standing in a very unusual place for a Protestant, working class loyalist. It's the Falls Road in West Belfast. Not a welcome place for most loyalists and definitely most unionists, you know. Okay, this is a bit of a road sign in the Clonard area of the Falls. Now, I'm not a big fan of the RUC, but I would say that the treatment of loyalists and unionists, working class unionists, I wouldn't be calling for them to disband. I would be calling for them to be retrained. Okay, we're outside I can't pronounce what that is. It's in Irish, it's in Gaelic. But what it is, and explain to maybe on the people on the mainland, it seems to be an Irish centre or some sort. Apparently it used to be, as far as I know, it used to be a Protestant church. But now, the times they are changing. It's now become an Irish centre. I'm not really one for the Irish language or anything like that, but it would defend anybody's right to learn the language which they believe is the language of their country. So I wouldn't really have a problem with that, you know. The funny thing, an unusual thing just happened to me there now, and it reinforced my faith in Catholic people. Not that I had a bad feeling towards them or anything, but a Catholic man just walking by me there, I was videotaping that disband the RUC sign, and he says to me, what are you videotaping that for? You want to take them down, they're an eyesore. And I thought that it was very, very good that there are people within the Catholic community who can understand that the RUC have an important role to play in the future once they've been retrained and learn how to police both working class communities and treat both working class communities with respect. And I thought that was very poignant when the Catholic man said that to me.
Off the sister, 72. I know he wrote type. What's rather annoyed me, like, I don't know where I got that from. He went and says I had two Catholics and I didn't know who they were. It was sectarian. You said this?
You didn't know who they were?
That's what it says, isn't it? Near the end, I think.
No, it's not. I didn't know who they were.
No, read it. Where are you going?
Who? I'm over here.
You're not?
Yeah. It's not the same page as the
Oh, is it that? I was wondering. I don't think I was.
I didn't realise that back now.
I know.
They said for 25 years too, so I felt it.
He didn't read what was said, like, so he didn't. What you're supposed to have said. That's the worst about the media, you see. They're fond of telling porkies.
I don't know, if you don't tell it right.
Here's it here, let's see. Identify with Protestant. Now, this is a bit of contradiction. Identify with Protestantism. Joy getting out in the 12 Florence parades. Motives of the EDA, though I hate what they've done. I always understand Republicans. Personally, I don't care about the border. And I don't care whether London or Dublin is in charge. I just want us all to live in peace.
He says to me,
You're supposed to be a loyalist.
Well, personally, it doesn't worry me.
Don't be getting me going about that again. That winds me up. So it does. That really does wind me up.
Morris and I disagree about violence. I totally hate violence. I'm against all kind of violence. I don't like any type of paramilitary, Catholic or Protestant. The two of us agree now just to disagree about it because we used to argue a lot about our own points of view. Now we don't. I mean, even though he has his views and I have mine, I still love him, and that's why I went up 16 years to visit him. Oh, come on, James, you can do better than that. Get off him.
I would say Dean would have more of an influence on me than Morris had when he was a youngster. I just think about things differently now. Eleanor's very important to me. Dean's very important to me. Morris is very important to me now. And it has altered my thinking.
Ellie?
Oh!
News is just broken of a leak. Nobody knows where it emanated from, whether it was London or Dublin, of some of the proposals that's in the soon to be published, hopefully, framework document. Initial reaction was one of anger, but having seen all these sort of things before and seen certain unionist politicians doing somersaults before over previous leaks and framework documents and joint statements, one quickly calms down. I think the best course, not wanting to toe the PUP line too much, but is wait and see. Wait and see.
11 o'clock, I'm Lucy Thorpe. The Prime Minister, John Major, and his Irish counterpart, John Bruton, have published their long-awaited framework document aimed at bringing lasting peace to Northern Ireland. It's 15 pages long, and one of its main proposals is a new cross-border body. This would be made up of elected representatives from a Northern Ireland Assembly and the Irish Parliament.
As far as I'm concerned, all I can see in this is a message to the IRA. You've got the guns. For heaven's sake, when you go back to your violence, don't bomb London. We have distanced ourselves from the people of Northern Ireland.
If I got the document, I couldn't understand it. We are ordinary people. And even some of the MPs can't even bloody well understand it. How the heck do they expect us to understand it? If they printed it in plain English, right, you're going to get the Northern Ireland. And the loyalists users are going to get this. I mean, it would be a lot better for me to understand. But for the document, I wouldn't have a clue about it. I was told to go to the post office and get one. And I didn't bother my head because I knew by looking at it, I wouldn't understand it. And a lot of people like me don't understand it at all.
It is a challenge of hope, and it offers the prize of greater peace and stability than Northern Ireland perhaps has ever known in its long history. This morning, I simply ask people to put aside old fears and to be open to the opportunities that now lie ahead of them.
No unionist party, no matter how progressive and forward-thinking they're trying to be, can accept this document or even negotiate on anything while that document's on the table. This document is just, no wonder the Nationalists are so happy with it, and Republicans like Sinn Féin and the SDLP are delighted with this document, because technically what it's telling us is, are telling them that Britain has no longer any, not a matter of selfish, strategic or economic interest. Britain, if they could, would quite happily walk away from this country tonight.
Right, everybody's heard that Alice before. Let's see if you've heard the second version.
Well, I don't know why she's leaving or where she's gonna go. I guess she's got her reasons, but I just know I know. 'Cause for 24 years I've been trying to rip the knickers off Alice. Alice, look at the fucking Alice. Whoa, 24 years is waiting for a chance. Get my filthy hands into her panties under pants. Now I never get used to not living next door to Alice. Alice, who the fuck is Alice?
I was walking down the Shankill the other day, and I read on the wall, there was a big painting up there that said, "Stuff your deal document to hell." I mean, things like that. The people of Shankill Road, they don't want all these documents. They want proof. They don't want it in paper to say there's going to be peace. They want proof. They want the shootings to stop. They want the guns to be handed in. They just want a peaceful life without any more suffering, any more bloodshed, or any more people dying. I mean, they've had enough of it, and they should definitely just call it quits. Enough is enough.
Gerry Adams makes me sick to the teeth.
How can you forget the Shankill bombing? How can you forget that pub race day? I can't remember the name of it. How can you forget all them things just because a couple of men says there's peace? But Gerry Adams, he's not a man, he's a devil. He is. He's definitely the devil, that's what I call him, as the devil.
Well, the Americans think he's very handsome.
And the Americans, so they come into a war when it was over, half over, sick, their own mouth. So they are interfering here.
If we say to people, look, the way forward is politically, to move forward politically, they'll just turn around and say to us, well, look at Adams. Look where he is. Think of the people that's been slaughtered by the Provisional IRA, and then think where Adams is today. And people are just laughing at us.
I don't like him personally. I don't think any Protestant likes him, what he's done to the Protestant community. On the other hand, he's done a lot for the Republican movement from the early 70s when he reorganised our IRA up to the present day when he's got them on the world stage, the Republican movement. And they'll never be any bigger than they are now.
Okay, it's the 9th of March and we're heading down the Springfield Road. Now what you see unfolding in front of us is the so-called Belfast peace line. Now a lot of this wall has been built because of nationalist pressure, and what I think is that instead we're now in a process about where people are talking about bringing the two communities together. And what I think about this wall is that if these walls continue to go up in Belfast, that the communities on both sides will have no common ground. They'll have no chance of coming together. If the kids can't start playing in the streets together and start at an early age, what hope is there for the future? I think that's where kids and young people from both sides of the community should start at an early age to learn to respect each other's diversities. And I think these walls will hinder that. And I think that instead of putting more walls up, that we should be bringing these walls down.
This afternoon, the 4 men arrested last night appeared in the Special Criminal Court in Dublin. One is alleged to be the INLA's so-called Chief of Staff. Another is Anthony Patrick Gorman, who is wanted in England by Sergeant Michael Newman in Derby. He was freed from the same court almost exactly a year ago, after extradition proceedings were dropped at the last minute. Earlier today, the police in Dublin displayed the arms seized last night, 26 guns in all and 2,500 rounds of ammunition. The INLA is a splinter group of the IRA and was formed in 1975. It's been responsible for a number of atrocities, including the murder of Airy Neve at Westminster in 1979 and the bomb attack on the Drop-in Well pub in Ballykelly in 1982, which killed 17 people. The organisation has not declared a ceasefire.
I'm very happy and glad to hear that 4 INLA men, one which is Chief of Staff, which ordered my brother to be murdered, is caught today with guns, ammunition, and nobody could tell me any different. They were definitely coming to Northern Ireland, to the north, to do something really big, to kill an awful lot of innocent, decent Protestants like my brother. This day has just been the best day I've had for a long time.
Today the INLA has called their ceasefire, which was nothing really new to any of the Protestants on the Shankill Road. After they were found with the guns, it was only a matter of time before they needed a cover-up story, and they have called their ceasefire. In a way, I actually feel angry that the INLA has called a ceasefire, for the simple reason, when the ceasefire is called, everything will be quiet now, and sort of the police will not be out looking for loyalist paramilitaries and Republican paramilitaries. So, I mean, they will not, the way I look at it is they will never find the man that killed my father.
To me, what really hurts deep down in the anger that I feel is that the person that took their lives that day on the road, basically, as far as I'm concerned, they've put David at peace. Nobody will ever hurt him again. What they didn't realise that day was it's the families that's left behind. It's their lives that tore apart. It's like me and many women, the same as me, that has to try and get through day-to-day lives, whether we're getting through taking tablets, antidepressants, sleeping tablets. For goodness knows how long we'll be on it. It's the families that suffer.
Yeah, but France had a big thing. We're on a big ribbon. What the hell he wants one for?
Why the peace made me angry was because I don't want the ones that murdered my brother to get off scot-free. I really wanted the ones that murdered my brother murdered. I want them to be dead, and I want their families to go through what I've been going through. I can't find it, and I laugh at these people saying, I forgive them, I forgive them. I can't find it in my heart to forgive the ones that murdered my brother. And I never will. And I hate those people. Hate them. And I do wish them dead. That's why I hate peace.
They say the skies of Lebanon are burning, those mighty cedars bleeding in the heat. They're showing pictures on the television, women and children dying in the street. Now we're still at it in our own place, still trying to reach the future through the past, still trying to carve tomorrow from a tombstone.
They fall off a car somewhere.
I've never met a motor mechanic yet that hadn't a couple of bolts left over.
Things still work.
Even though when Morris was sentenced, he knew he was going to go for life. And he had said to me not to come back up to see him again. But I loved him. I still love him. And that's why I fisted him for 16 years. I'm going to cry.
What's that on there, girl, drinking?
I'm with an evil
Marty,
a couple of months over.
what's that on there, girl, drinking?
Well, a lot of people still believe in the cause, but with ceasefire, I don't think they'd be so keen on seeing Protestant paramilitaries do anything that's setting peace. It's a real chance for peace now, and I don't think the people, whether believing in it or not, would like to see the Protestants starting anything.
Celebrations I've seen all day has been fantastic.
Lovely.
Absolutely fantastic, especially the ones that the one I seen on TV was London.
Princess Margaret.
Princess Margaret was fantastic, wasn't
Yes.
she? I thought she was absolutely
The Queen
fantastic.
Mother is a wonderful woman.
Yeah, wasn't
the
she
Queen
brilliant?
is a wonderful woman because she drove a jeep through London and all the blitzes and everything. I think they're a very brave family, every one of them.
Very brave family indeed.
I'm very proud of them.
We're all very proud of them.
Some sunny day.
Yep. It's often been said that unionists and loyalists have a siege mentality. I never knew what that meant, because I, for one, never had a siege mentality. I was always confident to stand and put my point of view across. Never afraid to admit and proud to say that I was British, and I still am. But in the last year, with all that has went on, i.e. the framework document, the continual hype about Republicans, the continual media barrage of Republican propaganda, I am slowly beginning to develop a siege mentality.
I think that was one of the reasons why I joined, sort of. I wanted to find out more about this country and find out basically how it all started. I know what it's about now, and I'm actually a little bit more intelligent about the situation. My father was always, he always liked the orange water. He was always a great believer in it. And I remember when my brother joined, he was very proud of him when he joined it. I just wish he had been here to see me when I joined, and the two of us walking together on the 12th of July.
They say we've got peace. The peace doesn't help me. Even though I've got two grown-up sons, and I still worry about them when I go out, and I've got two daughters, the peace doesn't help me. I was very, very angry when I found out about the ceasefires and the peace and everything else we were talking about, because they talked about it the year before. Davy was actually on TV sitting in the bar when John Majors and that was talking about it. And maybe if they had done something even then, a lot more lives would have been spared. I really don't think that we'll ever have peace in Northern Ireland. It might come sometime, but I don't think it'll. I think it'll be a long time before it actually does come.
When I started out in this project for Channel 4, I was full of optimism. It's not the case now, and I regret that. I'm full of pessimism for the future. The government seem intent on following a nationalist agenda, and they seem happy to give the unionist community a feeling that they are now disenfranchised. And I think that's wrong. I think it was wrong when Catholics were disenfranchised, and I think it's now wrong to disenfranchise the unionist community. And to me, it's a recipe for disaster.
Also in Belfast, crowds of youths lobbed dozens of petrol bombs into New Barnsley and Springfield Road RUC stations. Police responded with plastic bullets.
He got sentenced to life imprisonment for murder. Didn't even get done with manslaughter, he got murder. They went through the back door to get him out as far as I can see. Praise God, resigned the head of probation service because it didn't do normal procedures as they're trying to tell us. I had to wait 10 years in my first review, same as any other lifer. Why didn't he have to wait 10 years? They're not even making a move now on the prisoners. I mean, what they seem to forget is the loyalist prisoners and the Republican prisoners have played a major role in the ceasefire. The only reason there's peace now is because the prisoners said so. They seem to forget this, and the government's forgot it.
The worst act of violence was the destruction of this car showroom on Belfast's Antrim Road. It's believed a petrol bomb was dropped through the roof around 11 o'clock last night, starting a massive blaze. At least 8 cars were gutted and several others badly damaged. The cost, £350,000.
The Republicans still haven't came to terms with the fact that the British presence in Northern Ireland exists of people like myself. We are the British presence in Northern Ireland, not the British Army. They'll have to come to terms with that fact. But for me, the most important issue, and one that's still to be resolved, are the loyalist prisoners of war. For me, that's what they are. They're prisoners of war. A lot of those men I know. Some of them are very close friends, some are relatives. If it hadn't been for the last 25 years of conflict, they wouldn't have been in jail. I have nothing but sympathy for the victims of the last 25 years of violence. But the men inside Lone Cache prison, in the H blocks controlled by the loyalist paramilitaries, for me and my community, they are victims too.
From I've been doing this programme, it has helped me to be able to talk, to show my feelings. It's keeping me a bit sane. I'm sitting here, I can talk about Sam. Sam is a good person and should never have been murdered. But it's also helped me because I find it very hard to talk to people, and this programme is in a way helped me in some way come to terms with, hopefully come to terms with my brother's death.
I'm glad Davy's at rest now, nobody can ever hurt him again. The only thing that really does hurt me is that somebody took his life away and stopped him from seeing his daughters get married or walk up the aisles with his daughter, or even seeing his first grandchild. Or it's just really, it was a young man, he was 42 years of age. He just, the kind of person that just stopped, spoke to everybody, and anybody that knew him, he went out of his way to help. And to me, basically, it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Personally, with everything that's happening, the thing I'm concerned about is my children. I've lived through the last 25 years of violence, so has my whole generation. So we know the horrors of conflict. I thought that this was a new beginning, that my kids would never know the horrors of conflict. But unfortunately, the way the government are proceeding, and unfortunately the way the Republicans are proceeding at the minute, they seem to want to lay those horrors at the doors of future generations. Something that I don't want to do. But that's the way things are moving at this moment in time.
Every mother, every wife of any prisoner that's been inside or anyone that's been involved still worries about their loved ones when they're out. I will always worry about Morris when he's out and about young Morris. Oh, he was never involved in anything. He was brought up with Catholics and Protestants through the peace people. And he has Catholic and Protestant friends. You still worry about them. And like any other mother, I'll always worry about them.
Now I know us plain folks don't see all the story, and I know this peace and love is just copping out. And I guess these young boys dying in the ditches is just what being free is all about. How this twisted wreckage down on Main Street will bring us all together in the end. Now we go marching down the road to freedom. Freedom.
This film